Hey traders, Ron here, Traders Academy. And as you know, it's our goal to coach and train traders of all levels. Typically, we do that through our podcasts, our blogs, our meetups, and our webinars. But a few weeks ago, we had the idea to put out through social media a question to all of you asking, what is your biggest challenge or obstacle that's preventing you from creating consistent trading results? And the response was overwhelming. So what we decided to do was take those responses and create a series of mini courses, each one answering a specific response. So we hope you enjoy these, hope you find them informative, and thanks for watching. Welcome back, everyone. Today's mini course is entitled Media Information. And that's based on the question that we received, which was weeding through the available information to determine what's true and what's not, what's useful and what's not, what applies to the market or instrument I want to trade, and what doesn't. So I can totally understand your frustration because I was having the same problem when I first started out, but since then, it has only gotten, I'd say, 100 times worse. And there are so many media outlets now that the amount of market information is staggering. But most important thing for you to remember is that a large portion of this information is just someone's opinion. And everyone has an opinion, whether it's right or wrong. But within all that massive information are pieces of market information that will be useful to you in your trading. So it's going to be your job to learn what to be looking for and what to filter out. Now, I think we should first start by eliminating what is just noise. I want to start off by saying that no individual or software program or indicator or anything for that matter knows where any stock, index, future, or currency price will be tomorrow. For that matter, they don't know where the price will be 1 hour from now. And there are some good analysts out there that do very good extensive research on whatever product they're dealing with. But it doesn't matter how much information they compile, there is still no way that they can predict where the price will be at any point in the future. And this is where so many traders get into trouble. They watch the financial news stations, listen to all the analysts reporting on stock or market sectors and where it's going to be going in few minutes of the near future. And after hearing this enough, they start to form opinions, and those opinions end up turning into beliefs. And once a trader forms a belief, then from that point on, all market information that they take in will be tainted to reflect their belief. So any trade that they make will be aimed at enforcing that belief. And once the trade is made, then if it does go bad, then this trader will not see the warning signs and in most cases not close out the trade and manage their risk. Instead, they will stick with their beliefs and remain in the trade and write it down while the losses increase because their belief on this trade is so strong that all common sense or trading rules are ignored. So when you enter a trade, you must accept that anything can happen with this trade and any outcome is possible. So once you accept this hard fact, then you'll be much more open to admitting the trade was bad and be able to take the loss and move on to the next trade. So remember, the goal of any trader is to have small losses and let the winners run. So I think it's safe to say that in our process of weeding out the bad and useless information, that any type of information that attempts to predict price direction should always be ignored. Again, why? Because no one knows where the price of anything is going to go. Period. So now another type of useless information you will get will be the dreaded tip, stock tip. And I can only say that if anyone comes to you with a stock tip, run the other way. As for my own experience, every tip I have ever received and acted on has been a 100% failure. They've all been wrong. And it's really not that hard to eliminate everything we've just covered so far. Just stop listening to the financial news network, stop reading newspapers, stop reading magazines, stop talking to your friends. Okay, maybe it's not that easy. But what you can do is develop filters that allow you to ignore this type of noise when it's being presented. That's what I do, and it really isn't that hard to do. So now that we've identified what you should not pay attention to, let's move on to what will be important to you. you will want to start paying attention to any information that can cause movement in either the stock you're trading or going to trade, or move the markets as a whole. So if we look at data that can move the price of the individual stocks, they might be things like earnings reports, which could be made up of earnings calls, forward guidance, that kind of stuff. Any dividends that are going to be paid or new dividend amounts that might be announced. Any kind of company news, might be different new product news, any management changes, legal problems within the company, accounting problems within the company. Any of these things could move the entire company's stock price. And all of these things will have the potential to move the price of the stock, so you will need to be aware of the dates of any scheduled data so that you can possibly trade around those if possible, especially like earnings. So the next group of information, important information that is, they're known as binary events. So some examples of these are any government or corporate issued statistic that indicates current economic growth and stability. So be aware of when they're going to be released. Again, you might want to try to trade around those. And some of the more common ones could be any Fed meetings coming up, employment rates, non-farm payroll, GDP, gross domestic product, any kind of inflation news, retail sales news, foreign government crisis, anything going on in a foreign country, like, for instance, the Hong Kong thing that's going on right now, the protests, corporate earnings trends, the biggie, elections coming up next year. So these are relatively easy to find, and some good places to look could be CNBC is going to tell you about them, Bloomberg is going to tell you about them, Yahoo Finance Online has a great calendar. You can find them in the Wall Street Journal. But if you look, there are many places that post these calendars that list the entire month binary events. You just want to keep those data releases in mind, as they have the power to move the market as a whole. So at this point, I think we've outlined what you should ignore and what you should pay attention to and look out for. And again, as I always like to say, sometimes all of this can seem a bit overwhelming, but I always like to point that you can take even the biggest problems and break them down into smaller pieces that you can then attack and solve. So remember, learning new information and solving complex problems is nothing more than a process. So if you can break these things down and then follow a process, you will be successful. And one final thought I just can't help but mentioning is that a lot of the pressure you might be having could be due to the trading method you're using. What I mean by this is that I might guess that you are using a directional trading method whereby you need that trade to move in a specific direction in order for you to profit. So therefore you feel a lot of this information could be important to your trade, because if you can possibly identify something that could change the direction of your trade, then you might be able to avoid a loss. So you find yourself sifting through all this available data to find the one thing that you can use to your advantage. And this is a problem that is inherent to directional trading. Something you might want to consider is changing your trading to non-directional trading. And that is what we teach, of course, here in our classes. And the advantage is that you can profit regardless if the trade moves up, moves down, or trades flat. And I switched to this type of trading many years ago, and the one advantage I instantly realized was that I no longer cared which way the market traded. So once I could look at the market in that light, I found that I also had no need or reason to follow all the media news and hype, which made the entire trading process much easier and far more relaxing. So I just wanted to pass that thought along to you and everyone else, since that, like I said, is what we teach here at Traders Academy. But in case all of this still seems too large of a task for you to take on, I would like to suggest another option. Instead of taking all this on by yourself, maybe you should consider coaching. Coaching is something that is used by every successful professional, at the same time something that is almost never thought about for the average person. But think of it for a second. Golfers have coaches, boxers have coaches, sports teams have coaches, skiers have coaches, actors have coaches, and even rock bands have coaches. And this list could go on, but I guess you're getting the idea. And one thing you may not know is that traders have coaches too. In fact, I can promise you that all successful professional traders have coaches, and all large brokerage firms employ in-house coaches to support their in-house traders. As a matter of fact, when I worked on Wall Street, I used our in-house trader all the time. So whatever path you decide to take, I just want to encourage you not to give up on your dream to become a trader. There's not another business in any field that has the potential to produce the kinds of gains possible as a trader. Remember, it's all about following the process, breaking it down into workable sections that you can tackle with ease. And remember, if you don't feel like going it alone, please consider coaching. We want to thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it and hope that the information that you got can in some way help improve your trading. And if you'd like to watch the entire series for free, all you have to do is go to tradersacademy.org. That's tradersacademy.org. Fill out the form, give us your email address, and we'll send you a link to the entire series. Plus, we'll give you a free copy of our Reprogramming the Trader's Mindset book, and we'll give you access to a free 1/2 hour private coaching session. So if you'd like to take advantage of this offer, again, that's tradersacademy.org, tradersacademy.org, and thank you for watching.